Take my lips and speak through them. Take our ears and hear through them. Take our hearts and set them on fire with love for thee. May I speak in the name of the one who is coming into the world.
Amen.
Welcome to Advent, saints. The paraments are blue, fancy name for the decorative cloths hanging on the pulpit, the lectern, the chalice veil, my stole, the chasuble. One blue candle is lit on the Advent wreath. We are entering the season of Advent, the first season of the church year. Advent means coming, and it's a season marked by expectancy and hope. The use of blue for this season dates back to the Sarum Rite, the Roman Rite used in Salisbury in England, in the British Isles, from about 1200, certainly through the beginning of our prayer book. Our first prayer book was in 1549. It represents the dark sky before creation, the darkness before the birth of Christ, royalty, and Mary. And it's interesting to note that the early dyes were made from berries. So some historians suggest that the berries of northern dyes made blue, and that the ones in southern Europe made purple. And this may account for why we use both colors. But they've been used from time immemorial, and it's my favorite color. Unfortunately, it's short. But for some people, days just roll into one another. But for Christians, time has a shape and a story. There are the seasons of the earth, and there are also the seasons of the story, which give shape to our story. Advent is where our story begins. The story of Advent lies at the heart of the whole biblical witness, because that we believe not just in a God that is, we believe in a God that comes. God comes into our world and invites us into God's world, into God's creation, and into the divine life itself through Jesus Christ. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and everything was made through him. This is where the story begins. At Christmas, we'll remember the Christ child being born in Bethlehem, and songs of Christmas are all around us, but Advent directs our attention, somewhat unexpectedly for most people, not with remembering the past, but with looking forward toward the future. Advent starts with visions and images of Christ's second coming, a coming marked by judgment, grace, and surprise, a season for which we must prepare. Is Christ's coming good news or bad news? Is it judgment or is it grace, or is it somehow both? As most of us both try to follow Jesus and frequently fail, we need time to reflect, to consider, to kind of go, what am I doing? Am I cool if this is what I'm doing and Jesus comes? We need to wake up to the pitfalls and the possibilities, to prepare. That's why this season is penitential. It's a season of introspection and preparation. Christ comes among us day by day, the extraordinary veiled in the ordinary. So unexpected to most of us most of the time that we often overlook him. But Christ will come again unveiled. The coming of the Son of Man will be unexpected, Jesus tells us in Matthew's Gospel this morning. It will be as in the days of Noah before the flood. Everyone was eating and drinking and marrying and being given in marriage, and they aren't doing anything bad. He doesn't call them evil. But they are oblivious to the larger context of their lives until the day Noah enters the ark. Until suddenly the flood came and swept them all away. That's what it's going to be like when the Son of Man comes, says Jesus, and no one will be able to overlook it. We won't miss it, y'all. 2 men will be working in a field, and one will be taken and one will be left. 2 women will be grinding corn, one will be taken and one will be left, says Jesus. This is one of the readings people cite for the rapture. And it's interesting that the Greek for taken here, one will be taken, one will be left, means to be received. So to be taken is good and left behind is bad. But in the story Jesus tells about Noah, the opposite is true. The word used for taken means taken in judgment, while Noah is left and is blessed. Jesus says to us, but about that day and hour no one knows. Neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Humility in the face of mystery is the teaching of our church. We're comfortable with paradox. We're willing to be uncomfortable with it. Keep awake, says Jesus. That's the main thing. For you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. Stick with the essentials. Stay awake. Don't let that day catch you unawares. Don't let it surprise you like a thief. Don't live your lives oblivious to the claim of God as if you were the main character in life and God was just some kind of bit player off stage. There's a fable about 3 apprentice devils, and they're telling Satan their plans for destroying humankind. And the first says, I know, I'll tell them there is no God. And Satan says, yeah, that's not going to work. Pretty much everybody knows there's a God. And the second one says, well, I'm going to tell them there's no hell. No, they know there's hell. Most people have visited there. I know, says the third, I'll tell them there is plenty of time. Go, said Satan, and you will ruin them by the thousands. Yeah, sure, God's important. Yeah, no doubt about that, just not right now, Right now I got plans of my own for my life, and I don't need to consult God about that, right? Besides, I got errands to run, I got shopping to do, I got commitments that call. There'll be time enough for God tomorrow. Heady stuff, God. I have this business to finish today, this party to attend, and, this TV show that I really don't want to miss. I don't have time now, but tomorrow, there'll be time enough tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. And the older we get, isn't that become more and more obvious? Like, whoa. Jesus knows that, and that's why he comes to us with this message, because he knows that most of us only really start to pay attention when the rain starts to fall and the waters start to rise. Then Noah doesn't look like such a nutcase for passing up happy hour for his gopher wood and his God. He doesn't look like such a wacko for refusing to be like other people and instead insisting on doing what God told him to do, which was God told Noah to build an ark. So what did he do? Incredibly, Noah built an ark. So when the rains came and the waters began to rise, he got into it. And when the flood came and swept everything away, Noah was not swept away. He was borne aloft. He was borne aloft. The ark with its precious cargo floated on top of the waters. People like to say that life's a journey, and that is true as far as it goes. But life is not a journey without end, without purpose. As far as the Bible is concerned, life is actually headed somewhere. His history is headed somewhere. Christ lived and taught us to live and to pray, that God might hallow the divine name throughout the universe. That's the plan. That God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven, that the hungry be fed with the bread needed for today, that the guilty might forgive and be forgiven, that temptation might be rejected and trials endured. All this to be asked, acknowledging that thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Not me. You know what time it is. St. Paul tells us this Advent, how it is now the moment for you to wake from sleep. For salvation is nearer to us now than when we became believers. The night is far gone. The day is near. Amen.